Nice launch checkpoint countdown net. Pad is clear.
10, 9, 8.
Launch auto sequence
7,
has started.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go for launch.
Vehicle is supersonic.
Stage separation confirmed. Dragon, separation confirmed. Stage 1 is transonic. Landing legs have deployed. And Falcon 9 has landed.
All systems are go for launch of Falcon 9 with the O3b mPOWER payload.
T-minus 30 seconds. -15 seconds. Minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Full power and go. Falcon 9 and SES O3b mPOWER.
Now we pass through max Q, and the rocket typically needs to go 17,500 miles per hour horizontally in order to avoid being pulled back down to Earth. You heard the call out that MVAC engine chill has begun. Now this is in preparation for 3 events coming up in quick succession, which is main engine cutoff, stage separation, and second engine startup 1. So these 3 events will all be happening in about 30 seconds here, starting with main engine cutoff of those first stage engines that you can see on your screen right now.
Stage 1 throttling down. And Miko. Stage separation confirmed. MVAC ignition.
And there you heard and saw those 3 events happening back to back: main engine cutoff, stage separation, and that second engine startup 1 of our second stage. Now the next event in just a few seconds here will be fairing separation, where the 2 halves of the fairings will separate to reveal our O3b mPOWER satellites.
Fairing separation confirmed.
There's that confirmation of fairing separation, and we will be attempting to retrieve these fairing halves again today once they fall back down to Earth using our recovery vessel, Bob. It's T plus 3 minutes and 50 seconds here into today's mission, and we are in the first of 2 planned MVAC burns for satellite deployment.
Acquisition of signal, Bermuda.
In about 2.5 minutes here at T plus 6 minutes and 30 seconds, you should see on your screen the first stage's entry burn. Now for this entry burn, we relight 3 of the M1D engines, starting with the center E9 engine, followed shortly by the E1 and E5 engines, which are all in a row. And this entry burn will slow the vehicle as it passes down into the Earth's atmosphere. Beautiful views from the first and second stages on your screen. Now the first stage is making its way back down, preparing for its entry burn. And we need to perform this entry burn to help reduce re-entry forces on the first stage, which will help us recover and reuse the booster. Now again, during the re-entry burn, the first stage on the left will decelerate by firing its Merlin engines. It'll fire 3 out of the 9 engines, and this will actually cause the vehicle to fly down through the plume, which will deposit some of that soot back onto Falcon 9. Beautiful views from the first and second stage. Again, that second stage is in the first of 3 planned burns, carrying our 2 O3b mPOWER satellites. And the first stage is coming down, awaiting the start of its entry burn at T plus 6 minutes and 30 seconds. This will be about a 20-second entry burn. First stage is about to start its entry burn.
Stage 1 FTS has saved.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
There's the start of the first stage entry burn.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
That was a good entry burn from the first stage. Again, reusability is key to lowering the cost of spaceflight, which enables more investments in things like critical scientific research. Now, the Falcon 9 first stage that's supporting today's mission just performed its entry burn for the second time after previously having supported the Crew 6 launch just last month. Now, the Merlins on the first stage are optimized for sea level, whereas that MVAC engine you see on the second stage there is optimized for vacuum, which just means that it has a much bigger nozzle compared to the M1D engines on the first stage. Now, coming up in about 20 seconds, we'll have the shutdown of our MVAC engine on the second stage, followed quickly by the landing burn on our first stage. There was confirmation of second engine cutoff and a nominal orbital insertion.
Stage 1 landing burn.
There it is, the start of the burn. That road ship coming in quick. What an awesome view of that first stage recovery. Everyone's very excited here in Hawthorne. And there you have it. That landing marks SpaceX's 188th recovery of an orbital class rocket, including first stage landings of Falcon 9 and Heavy. But the mission isn't over just yet. The second stage is now embarking on its first coast phase. Now, after this coast phase, we will light that MVAC engine for a second time around the T plus 27 minute mark. So we'll see you here, back here in about 17 minutes.
liftoff signal, Bermuda.
Welcome back to the webcast of the Falcon 9 mission carrying the O3b mPOWER satellites for our customer SES. Falcon 9 launched on time at 6:12 p.m. Eastern Time from Space Launch Complex 40. In addition to an on-time liftoff, we had successful main engine cutoff, stage separation, and the first of 3 burns of the second stage, fairing separation, and a successful first stage landing, which marked our 188th recovery of an orbital class booster and the second landing for this particular first stage. Now we're coming up on our second relight and shutdown of our MVAC engine at T plus 27 minutes and 10 seconds. So in just about 10 seconds, we will do a short 30-second relight in our second engine startup too. There you can see second engine startup 2. And this burn is planned to last about 30 seconds. There is second engine cut off too. We'll wait to hear confirmation of a good orbit from the teams.
Nominal transfer orbit insertion.
There is that confirmation of a good orbit. We have one more second stage to burn before the deployments of our O3b mPOWER payloads and satellites. The third and final burn of our second stage should occur in about 80 minutes from now. So until then, enjoy these views of space, and we'll see you again then.
Acquisition of signal, HardiX dock. Acquisition of signal, Maldives. Expected loss of signal, HardiX stock. Acquisition of signal, Tasmania.
Welcome back to the webcast for O3b mPOWER. So far in the mission, we had an on-time liftoff at 6:12 p.m. Eastern Time, followed by successful ascent, stage separation, first stage landing, and 2 second stage engine burns. We're now coming up on the third and final second stage engine burn before the 2 payload deployments. Should be happening in just a few seconds. There is the start of that burn. And this is a quick burn and should last around 30 seconds. There was second engine shut off there for the third time. Now we were waiting on confirmation of a good orbit from the teams.
Nominal mission orbit insertion.
There is that confirmation of nominal orbital insertion, and as a reminder, the O3b satellites are still attached to Falcon 9's second stage. The first payload deployment will occur in about 3 minutes from now. Now, as mentioned previously, our customer today is SES. SES's O3b mPOWER communication system comprises an initial constellation of 11 high throughput and low latency satellites, as well as an extensive ground infrastructure. The O3b mPOWER satellites were collaboratively designed by SES and Boeing, and these satellites are SES's second generation MEO system that has been delivering high-performance communication services since 2014 to customers operating in nearly 50 countries today. Now, the spacecraft deploying today will operate from medium Earth orbit, which is MEO, at 8,000 kilometers from the Earth's surface. Now, as mentioned previously, today's launch is the second of the 5 O3b mPOWER launches, with service introduction scheduled for later this year. Now we're coming up on the first of 2 payload deployments at T plus 1 hour, 53 minutes and 19 seconds, so a little over a minute from now.
First payload separation confirmed.
You heard that call out with the confirmation of a successful deployment of that first satellite. Now with that confirmation, we do have one more major milestone left in our mission, and that's the deployment of the second and final spacecraft for SES O3b mPOWER. The second deployment is scheduled to happen in about 6 minutes from now. So in the meanwhile, enjoy the space views once again, and we'll see you here very shortly.
Another
Hello again. We're nearing the end of our mission today for our customer SES for satellite deployment. About 6 minutes ago, we did get good confirmation. We are awaiting the second deployment of the second satellite, happening in just a few seconds here.
Power
Video.
second deploy confirmed.
But as you just heard, we did get confirmation via telemetry that we did have a successful deployment of that second satellite. Now, with confirmation of that successful deployment, that will end our coverage of the O3b mPOWER mission. All of us here at SpaceX want to give a big thank you to our customer SES for entrusting us with today's mission. We also want to give a shout out to the Range and the Federal Aviation Administration for supporting today's launch. This launch concludes our 226th overall SpaceX mission to date and our second launch of the week. Now, if you're down for more excitement, Falcon Heavy is actually getting ready to launch in just a few minutes here at the neighboring pad in pad 39A down in Florida. The webcast is already live, so you can hop over there and watch that. But as always, thanks again for tuning in, and we will see you next time.